What up, though? This is Coach Raina Harmon, University of Iowa, representing with SLT, and you got next.
You next up and you ain't been on Sportslifetalk. Like, what are you doing? Hey, you better hit him up. Look, you breaking next, you up next. Keep the queens go hard. Rise and star on the big scene. Make them know who you are. You don't break a sweat. Don't settle for less. They put you through that test. Your resume that flex. Who got next? Who got next? SLT, ready to go. Who got next? Who got next? Living my dreams and all your goals. Who got next? Who got next? You can ask B. Jones or head coach. Who got next? Who got next? You next up, so here's my vote.
KT, let that intro roll a little bit more. SLT Nation, welcome back to another real conversation with amazing human beings doing phenomenal things and accomplishing big dreams. And ladies and gentlemen, we are touching the mountaintop. We are going to give you the dopest, the absolute dopest assistant coach on U.S. soil right now. We got Raina Harmon, our Hawkeye stand-up, the nation of Iowa. Hey, Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys for having me.
You an entrepreneur. You an advocate. What do you not do, Coach? Tell us right now, what do you not do?
Listen, I'm not going to put a cap on myself. I'm not going to say I can't do anything. I'm willing to try everything one time, right?
All right, Coach. Well, we're going to unpack your story and get to the Sports Life Talk initiation. But before we do so, allow me to introduce myself. I am your host, the mouth of the South, B. Jones, the Louisianimal, Mr. Yeet himself. I'm rocking alongside of my co-host, my brother from another mother, the head coach, the guru, KT. How you living, KT? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm feeling great, B. Jones. I feel like I can just shoot it from the logo today, man. Let's go.
Oh, so you want to talk? You want smoke? I'm going to tell you something.
No.
Coach still got it, Cam.
No, that's not smoke.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Because it came off as a little adversarial.
There's a lady in Iowa that we all know about that can shoot that 3 with the best of them. So,
Kevin, but it's they breed that in Iowa. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. But listen, if this is your first time checking out the network, checking out our channel, we want to say thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. Kevin and I, we work so hard and we go out. I don't know how Kevin get us these bangers. This right here is a certified platinum episode. You just walked into the doors on probably one of our best episodes ever, one of our best guest ever. But listen, stick around, hang out with us, and on the count of 3 we got to ask a small favor, Detroit, because we know it's some love up there in the D. We need y'all to do us a huge favor. On the count of 3, smash that subscribe button. Can they do that for me, Coach? Can your folks hold us down like that? I know it's 1 million out of Detroit that's gonna show this thing some love. Here we go, Detroit. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Listen, thank you so much for smashing that subscribe button. That goes so far for the channel. Kevin and I, we are so close to monetizing this thing. It is ridiculous. And your love and your admiration goes a long way. So check us out. We got over 180 episodes of You Got Next. Coaches, athletes, content creators, Olympians, NFL athletes. This thing is bananas. So buckle up, go enjoy those. But for right now, sit back, because we're about to put you on some sneaker game. We're about to put you on some NBA games, some basketball. It don't matter. We about to touch them all because we got them. That's right. Your very own Coach Raina Harmon. Are you ready for the Sports Life Talk initiation?
Oh, let's do it.
Let's do it, KT.
Okay, B. Jones, she's a little too confident. I'm a little scared. All right, so to initiate you into the SLT family, you got to give us your top 5 music artists.
All right. Top 5 music artists. So, start number 1, Michael Jackson. Right, been a fan of Mike Jackson since I was born. Number 2, the vocal Bible, and she is highly underrated. That's Brandy.
Ooh, I think that's our first Brandy.
That's the first Brandy.
Oh man, love Brandy. Been to a concert of hers. Man, her voice is.
Hey, Coach,
ridiculous.
I actually met her in person.
Did you?
I'll tell you a story off of here.
I bet.
I wanna be down. Yeah,
that's right. That's right. Number 3, we gotta go, Mr. Sean Carter himself, Jigga. Jay-Z.
Oh,
yeah,
that's right. 4, I'm gonna go Whitney Houston.
See, I'm gonna tell you something though, Coach. That's not fair to you, because listen, you know how on Wheel of Fortune, when you go to that final round, how they automatically put some letters up there on the board for you, like they gonna give you
RSTL.
Yeah, like they should automatically give you Mike and Whitney. We shouldn't have to count Mike and Whitney out of your 5, but we're gonna let you do one more just for the sake of the show. But RSTLEs, that's what them is right there.
I got you. All right, so I gotta throw somebody from my hometown on here, right? Detroit. I mean, home of Motown, and this artist actually wasn't signed to Motown, but one of my favorite artists growing up. This is like one of them Sunday, your mama cooking and she cleaning, and this is just resonating through your house. Got to throw Anita Baker in there.
Oh, Anita Baker, okay. You the best that I got. Everybody, right?
Okay, you better hit that note.
Hey, yeah, everybody need that drunk aunt though. Anita. All right,
I like Anita too, man. My mama had me on some Anita when I was in the cradle. I was listening to Anita.
Angel, right. We can just go on about her. Shout out to you. All right, so who is some of your favorite sports teams?
Yeah, so being from Detroit, it's been a struggle for a minute. But you know, I always root for the hometown, right? So Detroit Pistons, late 80s, early 90s was a fun time with the Bad Boys. 2004, that was a fun time watching those guys win. The Detroit Lions, oh my gosh, there's probably nothing more frustrating than being a Lions fan, but we got a good draft class.
Great draft class. Yeah,
man. And so outside of that, I kind of just root for certain people. So I'm a big Cam Newton fan. So you know, I was a Panthers fan. I'm not a New England Patriots fan, but I joined that bandwagon for a minute and then went back to the Panthers. So we're gonna see what happens there. Big LeBron fan in terms of basketball, right? So typically, wherever he goes, that's who I'm rooting for. So hopefully the Lakers can get it together. I know he got a few more years. We're waiting for Bronny to get up there. And then wherever our players end up, right, when we talk about WNBA. So I was a Washington Mystics fan for a while with Megan Gustafson being there. She was with the Dallas Wings. And right now, she's with the Phoenix Mercury. So I'd have to say my favorite WNBA team right now is the Phoenix Mercury.
All right, so who is your favorite superhero and why?
Favorite superhero is, I'm not like a superhero fan, like didn't read comics, rarely watch the movies, but one that I'm really into, and I'm sure you guys could probably guess this based on your research and your background of me, Black Panther, right? And that's because, you know, King T'Challa, he puts on for his people, he wants the best thing, you know, for his people, and so I would have to say I resonate most with Black Panther.
All right, T'Challa, since every good superhero needs their own theme music, what would your theme song be?
Theme song would be, I'm gonna take you back to the trumpets on this one. Eve, who's that girl?
Who's that girl? La, 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 la. Hey, y'all see her dancing, but y'all got to go check her out because she got moves for real. Coach Raina got some moves for real. Hey, she will work her dance floor over, dog. I'm just telling you right now. I got evidence. I got the receipts. So,
all right, Coach. So on behalf of the SLT Nation, we would like to welcome you to the SLT family. So B. Jones, take it away.
Detroit Bad Boys. Hey, check this out. I'm gonna tell you something, Coach. I cried when Michael Jordan and them put the Detroit. Because all right, so I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana. You know, Joe Dumars is from the area. I was like a little kid, 5, 6 years old. Joe Dumars out there playing. That's all I did. That's all I knew was Detroit Bad Boys basketball. I walked out when they walked out. I was still out. Hey, when they went to the locker room, I walked out the living room with my mom and I was like, I ain't playing no more. We ain't playing no more. They cheating. Hey, Coach, for real. It's you know, that's why we click it. That's why we cool, because it's something about if you was a Bad Boys fan, then you got a certain mentality about sports, right? We think about sports totally different, and so that's what's gonna make this interview with you very special, because I know there's a different mindset that comes out of you, Coach, and I see it how you approach your coaching style, how you approach your life personally on the court and off the court. But let's go back to the beginning. You know, Detroit ain't always been known for the most savory. As a matter of fact, on our show, Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, we watched a documentary show called Malice at the Palace. And it was a great show. And I didn't even know kind of all that stuff that went on in Detroit. But tell us a little bit about your experience growing up in Detroit.
Yeah, man. So my mom, she kept me involved in sports really early by way of Police Athletic League. So they have PAL all around the country, right? And so, I mean, I was I started off in cheer, to be honest. And I have some of my lifelong friends from cheer. She put me in the ski program, in the tennis program, in the track program, and basketball is kind of where I found my love for sports. So came up in Detroit, playing basketball. I have a lot of male cousins that are older than me, so they would always need an extra person to play. And so, I'd be out there doing whatever. And they're like, just don't shoot it. We pass to you, pass it back. A couple more years roll on. They're like, give it to her. Give it to her. So, I always say, they're part of that, my progress and me growing up. Went to Martin Luther King High School, which was kind of known as like the UConn of Detroit back in the day. I mean, state championships, city championships, lots of D1 players coming out of Martin
I was about to say, they put D1 football players out every year. I follow football real big, and Martin Luther King put out some serious hitters on the football field. Yeah.
Great school for athletics and for academics. And so, being surrounded with, those caliber players afforded me the opportunity to be seen by other D1 schools, because I wasn't the best player on my team at all, right? But opportunity meets preparation, and I had some great games, and was afforded the opportunity to get a scholarship to Central Michigan University. Took my talents there, and kind of the rest is history from there.
Yeah, you skated over on them buckets, but you was a monster though. I saw some clip notes and I read some press clippings that you was putting it in. You was doing work. You was doing work.
You know what's wild though? Like even me as a player, I mean, we talked about the bad boys, right? And so I was kind of the prototype of that type of team, right? I wasn't out there like we talked about shooting from the logo and stuff. Like that wasn't me. I wasn't out there like shooting a bunch of threes. I mean, I was rebounding, offensive rebounds. I give you a little Bill Laimbeer, a little Rick Mahorn real quick, and I'm going back up. I Debo my way to the basket.
What about that microwave? What about that microwave, Vinnie Johnson? You ain't had none of that in it?
That's right. I mean, I was an undersized forward. I mean, I'm 5'10". I played the 4, most of my life. So I took a little bit of that bad boys mentality into my game. And like I said, it worked out for me, because a lot of players don't like to do those things, right? Everybody trying to get buckets, trying to get assists, and like that was never my mentality. I didn't have to do that because I was always surrounded by people better than me. So I'm gonna get you an assist, you shoot it, I'm gonna go get it back.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something though. That shooting from the logo, like I was talking to some of my cousins, because I got some cousins that could go. They were potential Division I talented people, and we were talking about how these shots are going up. Like you watch an NBA game, like I mean, it's almost like running. I mean, there's going to be a 3-point shot just about on every trip down the court, and I was like, man, you would have got pulled. Your coach would have been like, hey, that's your second one. Come on, come sit with me. We're not shooting that shot today.
That's right.
Basketball has changed so much, but let's flip the page though. So you had a great illustrious hooping career. You had fun, built relationships, accomplished the things you wanted to accomplish on the court. What converted you over to a coach? When was that, this is it moment that you said, hey, I want to give back, and started coaching? I think you were at University of Michigan, or was it at Central Michigan?
It was, so I was playing at Central Michigan, but to be honest, when I was there, it never even crossed my mind that I could be a coach. So I got my undergrad degree in sports studies, and my minor was in marketing, but because I didn't have many people around me that looked like me, it never dawned on me that I could actually be a coach, because none of my coaches looked like me. Right. And so once I got back to Detroit, I'm still trying to figure out what it is I want to do. I knew that I wanted to stay in sports, but I also knew that I wasn't good enough to go to the WNBA or even wanted to go overseas. So I went back home and started being a substitute teacher. And then I was a gym teacher, right? And so just me being a college athlete and knowing how to relate to kids and just rolling the basketball out and like breaking some of their ankles, all the kids wanted to come see me. So the trouble kids always got sent to come see me, right? So then I was tasked. They asked me if I wanted to coach the 8th grade boys basketball team. And I was like, okay, first, I've never coached. And 2, you want me to coach boys? We'll make something shake. So we ended up winning the championship that year. When I got back. So after we won the championship, my former AAU coach that I played for, he was like, hey, I hear you coaching now. And I'm like, yeah, I am. He's like, why don't you come back, give back to your AAU program that you played with? And I was like, oh, say less, coach girls, let's do it. And so I started with the team. They were in the 7th grade, and I ended up coaching them all the way until when they graduated. So they were really, really good. A lot of D1 prospects on that team. And as they got to high school and I'm coaching them, college coaches that looked like me started calling my phone to recruit them. And it was then when I was like, oh, I could do this. And so as those coaches start calling, I was just letting them know, hey, I know you're looking after my kids, but what does it take to be on your level? Like, what do I need to do? And so they start suggesting things. I end up getting my master's, just networking. Anybody that would call about my kids, I would tell them what my goals and aspirations were. Until one day, out of the blue, I got a phone call from the University of Michigan asking me if I wanted to be the director of basketball operations.
Wow, Dobo.
Yep.
And that's a tough gig too. We've interviewed a couple of dopes. I'm like, man, that's probably everything. The grimiest position. Like, you're doing everything.
You're doing everything. And so the thing is, so I ended up working at PAL. So like I was no longer a substitute teacher. I ended up getting a job at PAL. I was an assistant athletic director. So I was tasked with running sports. I was the commissioner for the cheer program, for the golf program. So the same programs that I ended up going through end up falling on my plate, and I was responsible for them. Running the budget, doing the travel, ordering uniforms. So it made sense for somebody to reach out to me to be a director of basketball operations because I'd already had experience doing that. Just we added a lot more commas and a lot more zeros to the budget that I had to manage. But yeah, I was at the University of Michigan for 2 seasons under Kevin Borseth. And what's interesting is, also because I was coaching those AAU teams, he knew that he now had a direct pipeline into Detroit because I knew all the kids from the area.
Yes. Well, so I don't think you got a losing record anywhere you went. I saw you had a winning record in Central Michigan. You got a winning record in Iowa. So, and as much as I want to talk about, because Iowa got some hoopers, man. Iowa's got some hoopers, but I got to touch on what's important and why this platform is so important for us is because you take up for everybody, Coach Raina. You give everybody a voice. If you're African American, if you LGBT, if you are a woman, it don't matter. This woman below us, she got your back. And you ain't scared. Like I told y'all, she a bad boy at heart. You got to tell me about this mask, because I looked through the mask and I was enamored. I was like, oh, that's so fire. Every game you broke out a new mask and that mask had a statement on it. Tell us a little bit about what made you come up with that and tell us how did that work out for you?
Yeah, so it's kind of a longer story, but I started getting into a lot of history books, just African-American history books. This was around 2015, 16, right? We fast forward, Colin Kaepernick takes the knee, and like now a lot of college athletes are starting to take a knee. And I'm like, is that what I want to do? I'm not sure why I'm going to do that. So let me just keep reading, keep watching documentaries, educate myself. So then 2020, we're in a pandemic. Everybody slowed down. Everybody's in front of their TV. And then we see the murder of George Floyd, right? And so then subsequently, we know our season now, we're going to be reinstilled, but we're going to play again. And so now you start seeing like masses of college athletes start to take a knee. And so we're having this conversation with our team. And again, I'm tasked with, okay, now you have all this education, right? What are you going to do with it? Are you going to take a knee? And so that was my first inclination. Maybe I will. But as I start thinking about it, I'm not the head coach, but who's at the press conference? I'm not going to be able to tell why I'm taking a knee. I'm going to be having my head coach tell that story. And that's not fortunate for her. That's not fortunate for me. And so what I did know is, we'll get to this, I'm sure, me being a sporting apparel company CEO, like I can make certain things, right? So I started creating masks during the pandemic, and I was like, I'm big on educating, which is why I'm in coaching, right? So I'm big on mentoring and sharing information that I know that could help the next generation. And so I was like, all right, well, this Breonna Taylor situation is laying heavy on my heart. I'm going to start. My first mask is going to be Breonna Taylor. And then when I realized that, like, people were like, oh man, what are you going to do next? I was like, oh, there's a next. I started writing down a list of things that I wanted to talk about for the season. And so for that particular season, I, highlighted Black people that were unjustly killed at the hands of the police, some unjust racial systems that are in the world, or even just some historical things like the bombing of Tulsa, Oklahoma, redlining, things like that. I just highlighted them. And so what I would do every game, we have a shoot around, and our head coach, she gave me 10 minutes to just express or share and educate people about what was actually on my mask. Because for me, it was like, okay, I can take a knee, but then what? Why am I taking a knee? So I put that out there during shoot around. I would always put on my social media what it meant. It started some really heavy dialogue, but some really good dialogue. People will reach out to me in my DM like, hey, I never knew of this person or this historical event that happened. You're kind of changing the way I'm thinking about these things. And I understand what you mean when you say, like, Black Lives Matter. And this is why these are things that are happening in the past. So thanks for shedding light on that. And so for me, it was like, after 30 games, if I gave you a new topic for 30 straight games and you still don't understand why people are taking a knee, then it's because you don't want to understand. But I think I've changed a lot of people's insight here in our athletic department, outside the Iowa community, and across the nation, just on social media. So, but for me, it's always like, we task our young women, once they leave here, they're going to have some obstacles, right? And they're going to have to figure out, if you are able to get a seat at the table, then you're going to learn how to use your voice at the table. Don't just be hogging a chair.
That's right.
Right. And so it's important for me and for our players to see that there's someone that could speak about difficult things in a positive way and not make it so contentious, where people can feel like they can have those conversations in a safe space. And I think that year doing that with those masks, that was just me trying to accomplish something so that it could help, our team, our program, and our community.
Yo, and it was a fire. I'm gonna tell you, when you put the red line one and the Tuskegee, I said, oh, she in that Kool-Aid. Oh, she going deep. Hey, y'all about to get it today. I tell you what, it's about to be some understanding. It's gonna be some straightening. All right, so I Kevin, do I got time for a couple more? Yeah. I know we pressed for time. All right. So let's you the CEO of Unified Ballers. First up, hey, I need that 2XL. I need you to go and spend that day. Hey, I need all that swag. Hey, you just dripping everywhere. I saw the sneaker. Hey, I'm just telling you, it was a monster. Your clothing line, the brand is crazy. It's fresh. It's new. It's exciting. I kind of want to be a brand ambassador so we can put that SLT logo on it somewhere. Hey, but tell us a little bit about how you came up with the drip, with the threads, and then it's a special T-shirt I want you to talk about. But I want you to tell me a little bit about the whole setup.
Yeah, so me as a coach, I pride myself on kind of like you guys. I mean, there's a lot of podcasts out there, but I'd be hard pressed to find something with the energy that you guys bring, right? And so that's how I look at myself as a coach. Like, you step onto the court, you got to bring energy every single day. I don't care what I'm going through. I don't care what you're going through. I'm gonna bring a smile to your face. It could be raining outside. We're gonna create our own sunshine up in this love, right? So it's a couple sayings that I had, like, I coach the shooters, and I'm saying it now more than ever, right? We're having a kid like Caden Carpenter, like, whoa, where my shooters at? Like, I mean, they be, where my shooters at? There's some off days, and I end that phrase with a question mark, too. Like, where my shooters at?
Y'all ain't getting nothing today. Where somebody find my shooters?
Right? Or even, you got some players that are dealing with some certain issues. Am I good enough? Especially when you get to this level, because everybody was a dog in high school, right? But then you come to this level, and it's like, am I worthy? Am I good enough? And I'm always like, listen, bet on yourself. Bet on yourself. If you do, everybody else will. And so then I took the where my shooters at, and I just put it on the T-shirt for me, my wife, and my son. I put it on social media, and everybody was like, well, when is coming out? Like, coming out? What? Like, coming out on where? And so, as I wore them around town, people that didn't even know me or knew what it stand for, they get it, right? You see a 3 with a basketball logo. I mean, young kids, my son's wearing it to school. So I was like, all right, I think I'm wanting something here. I'm gonna create this shirt and I'm just gonna sell it. But I was like, I can't just sell it out the trunk of my car, right? Taxes, like, I ain't trying to get involved with that. So I ended up creating a company thinking that maybe this could be bigger than just basketball. And so what is something that unifies the ballers? What unifies the ballers? What unified ballers?
Unified ballers.
And so, right, so that was the company right there. And I initially just took all the sayings that I have and put them on a shirt, right? And even this one, like, we're all chosen to do something. Right, but it's a conversation starter. So people are like, what does that mean? I tell them what I'm chosen to do. Boom, break out the logo with Unified Ballers on the sleeve. And being able to create some really cool things, like I talked about, it's time to unify mass during the pandemic. Was able to create a black coach's shirt of the head coaches that took their
That's the one. That's the one. Let me tell Coach, I got to tell you. You know we had somebody previously on our show who wore the shirt? It caught my attention, and I said, man, where did you get the shirt? We talked about it on the show. I said, man, where did you get the shirt? Because that was a fire shirt. It had Adia, it had Pokey, had Dawn, it had all of our Nubian Queen Black coaches. I said, that's fire. That's fire. So you came up with that shirt? Or?
I did. So not this past season, but last season, right? Adia, she makes it to the Final Four with Arizona. I'm like, man, look at these black women. They're doing their thing. I'm going to make myself a shirt and just wear it for the championship game. Like, I'm rooting for her. Again, I put the shirt on. I took a picture of it, and people was like, I don't see it on the site. And I was like, you know what? I mean, I posted it. I had over 800,000 impressions on Twitter from that one post. Wow. And so I'm like, okay, I can just print the shirt, but like, I have respect for these women. I'm in that same profession, right? That's mean, like, I literally, like, if Vivian Stringer didn't do what she did here, I mean, I understand Cheney, but like here at Iowa, I don't sit in this seat. I don't have these opportunities. And so I reached out to some people within one day. So this is after the Final Four, right? We got one day before the championship game. I end up on a text message chat with the 5 women that were on the shirt asking them.
The Mount Rushmore black coach, female black.
I'm in a group chat with them, and they're all like, absolutely, yes, Dawn, yeah, I got you. Like, I'm like, wow. Put the shirt out. Shirt went crazy, right? Like, and so I'm just waiting for the next one so we can just keep on adding to the shirt. But the shirt has kind of just took off.
Kevin, I'm telling you, man, this thing is bananas. Hey, I tripped out when I saw that too. But what really impressed me, not just the shirt, but the sneaker game. We got to touch on the sneaker game. I got to do this here. We don't have a lot of time, so I'm just going. Oh man, I didn't touch on you reading. My wife is a reader. I saw you read books by Tabitha Brown. Some of the other ones. We're not gonna be able to touch on the fact that she shook hands with the vice president. We're not gonna be able to touch on everything, Coach, how it is. But you got to touch. Lastly, on this sneaker game. You fell in love with it years ago. I just fell in love with sneakers back in 2019, and I got an impressive collection to say the least. But your collection is chef's kiss. You know what I'm saying?
We're getting there. Yeah.
You a monster with it. So every time you take a picture, are those your sneaks?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Man, I mean, like, okay, so y'all know Detroit, right? Like, I mean, we ain't the fashion capital of the world, but we the fashion capital of the world, right? Hey. I mean, like, if you see somebody in some minks and some gators, what up, though? We from Detroit, right? I mean, Biggie had a line. Pink gator, my Detroit players, right? Like,
hey, yeah. Hey, what was our guy who went to the Detroit Pistons, number one pick, Cade Cunningham? When he got on his draft night, he pulled out some shades. He was like, "Hey, this is for Detroit." I was like, "That's dope." I never knew about the shades in Detroit till then.
That's right. They call them buffs if you got the wood.
Buffs,
it's crazy. So they gave something to the governor of Michigan.
Wow.
Yeah, man. So I mean, I've just been a sneakerhead kind of all my life. Like, and not just Nikes. Like, I buy a lot of Nikes now because we're a Nike school and I could just wear them whenever. But I mean, like, even back when Grant Hill first came out with some of his shoes, Patrick Hill, I mean, like, I've always been a sneakerhead, and it just keeps going. And my closet, I mean, we're moving now, so thank God, because I'm running out of space. But
you need a room just for the sneakers. You need a room for your sneakers.
I saw competition for that.
I saw somewhere you said the Concords was your favorite pair. I wanted to challenge you on that Concords. I don't know why. Right. I felt like you was more of a rookie of the year ones. I don't know why. I saw some other, maybe the Fearless. Ooh, I see you with some dope sneakers.
Listen, and the thing is, I mean, and every time the Concords come out, I grab them, right? Because I wear them. Like, that's the thing. Like, no, you got one to rock, one to stop. I'm rocking all these mugs. They'll come back. They'll come back again. Like, Concords, that colorway with the patent leather, it does something to my spirit every time I see it.
Concords all fly. They probably the most versatile sneaker. I took out my pictures for our SLT site when I'm the Black Ranger, the black part. You see, I'm wearing black. I had to throw my Concords on. I was like, I'm coming out at y'all, coming for your neck. All right, KT.
Oh, B. Jones, man. One thing I love about shows like this and guests like this, they bring out the best in you. You are the mouth of the South for a reason, and you took up all of my time. So, hey, let's go and get to the championship rounds, man. Let's do it, man. I love it, though. This is great content. I love it. Let's go.
He ain't throw no shade, did he, Coach? He ain't throw no shade.
Brought it back.
All right, Coach. Raina Harmon. Welcome to the championship rounds. This is the part of the show where Kevin and I, we turn on each other. We compete in true brotherly fashion, but you are now calling all the shots. Have you ever played a game called Would You Rather?
Oh, yeah, I have.
All right, so this is going to be very simple. Both Kevin and I will present to you an option. You select one of those options. The option you select will gain that host a point. The first host to get 2 points, or the best out of 3, will win this episode's game with championship rounds. I don't know, Kevin, who won the last game? I think. Yeah. You sure?
Yeah. I remember you had won like 3 in a row, and then I found
4. It was 4. It was 4 in a row.
You had run like 3 in a row. That's obsolete. I won the last one.
All right, Kevin, you kick it off, man.
Round 1. Would you rather coach a player that became a Hall of Famer and gives you the credit for their success, or
coach a player that became a coach, won a ring, but says you taught them everything about X's and O's and how to manage a team?
Coach a coach. I'd rather coach a coach.
Point. Round 1. We need some Mortal Kombat sounds on this thing.
Finish him.
Finish him.
Hold up now.
All right, round number.
My bad.
Now she's about to say something.
I was gonna say the reason I would choose that is because that's the gift that keeps on giving. Right? Yep. You coach a coach, that coach is a coach, that coach, like.
Now we got the Raina Harmon coaching tree, right?
There we go. That's the goal.
All right, round number 2. Coach, would you rather host a YouTube basketball pickup series where you interview athletes while playing basketball in the gyms that they grew up in, or
host your own cooking show where athletes and celebrities share their favorite places to eat in their hometowns?
Ooh.
Think hard about this one, because
Oh my gosh, that's a great question.
Yeah, but just think about Caitlin Clark and all the cooking she been doing.
You know what? And I'm actually gonna say I'm gonna host the cooking show. I'm gonna host the cooking show.
Coach, I'm putting you in D-Wade, a gym with D-Wade where he grew up out there in Chicago.
I know. And how many of those exist though? You know what I'm saying? Like there ain't many coaching shows where like, you know, they're talking about other things.
Okay. I'm gonna talk to the producers after the show. All right.
Oh, you didn't want to talk about the round one though, right? You really don't. All right, so round 3, for it all.
For it all.
Would you rather Nike have a shoe named after you and it becomes the official shoe of the NCAA? Or would you rather have the Raina Harmon Trailblazer Award named after you, and it goes to someone who is an advocate for the community and accomplishing great things on the court? Is there anything else you want to add to that, B. Jones? Goodness, you sauced it up.
And it comes with a scholarship.
No, you can't.
You asked me to.
We know that shoe game is something serious.
Strike the scholarship from the scholarship. It's just somebody who the Raina Harmon Trailblazer Award named to somebody who's an advocate and accomplishes things on the court and off, following the spirit of Raina Harmon.
Yeah.
That love for shoes, though. We get those Raina. You know,
you know, the soles eventually come off of them shoes.
Yeah,
but the paychecks don't.
There you go. Nah, I'm gonna go with the Trailblazer Award. I mean, that's who I am at the core. At my core, that's who I am.
Yeah, this was very important to me, Coach. I'm back in the dub column. Y'all see it? Do I need the camera to zoom in on this, Karen? Do I need to zoom in on the Raina Harmon Trailblazer Award known as the championship belt? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Where my shooters at? Boom! Oh, man, it feels so good to win again. I first want to thank Raina Harmon. I want to thank the Iowa University Athletics.
She said she got to go do her cooking show. Let's go.
All right, Coach Harmon. The title of the show is You Got Next. Everybody has a future. Tell us about yours.
Yeah, I just came to this crossroads where I was like, do I want to go into administration, or, you know, do I want to stay assistant coach? Do I want to become head coach? And just when I think about the platform that I'm gaining and the platform that I have the potential to have, the impact that I can make and continue to grow, my next thing is to become a head coach.
And it has been written. It has been written. Any particular schools, universities that you ever had to dream? I mean, you're talking about the Vivians and the, you know, some of your predecessors. Would you like to take over a program like one of those? Or?
I mean, obviously, this is like one of the draft questions where they ask, where you want to go? Well,
yeah, you can't really answer.
I mean, no, but you know what? It's always, and you guys know what I stand for. We talked about it. And so I'm unsure where my path will go. And I hope to be at a major D1 Power 5 university, you know, in the future. But I would love to get a shot at an HBCU.
That's what I was hoping you was going to say.
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping you was going to say. Well, we need you. We need you. And I love what they doing. I think the tide is turning. It's turning slow.
Yes, it is. Yep.
You know, no big boat turns fast, but, you know, It's turning slow. But, hey, it's turning, and we need people like you. But real quick, before we sign off, give them a book. They got to get a book. What do you want everybody out there, SLT, to go read? SLT Nation, what's a book we need to go read?
One book, Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Did they make a book about it, Coach? I mean, a movie.
So there's a documentary that highlights what's in the book on HBO. So if reading ain't your thing, go check out that hour documentary on HBO.
Kevin, go read the book, Kevin.
I do enough reading throughout the year. All right, Coach, do you have any shout-outs you want to give?
Yeah, for sure. First, want to give a shout out to my family, right? I mentioned that I have a wife and a stepson. So shout out to Sharita and Jaquez. Shout out to every player I've ever had the opportunity to coach, because I know they're going to show up and watch this. Shout out to my Chippewas. Shout out to Hawkeye Nation. And shout out to y'all, because I love this podcast. the interviews that you guys are doing, the energy that you guys are bringing. I mean, I watch one and I just go right to the next every morning, right to the next. So
don't tell us that, Coach. We'll get the big head. We're trying to stay humble.
No, I appreciate that.
All right, so this is the part of the show where you get a chance to call out the person you think should have next. Tell them, hey, I got a chance to rock with B. Jones and KT. Tell them my story. I want you to do the same thing. With that said, Coach, who are you giving your game ball to?
I'm giving my game ball to Marwan Miller, newly appointed coach at the University of Minnesota.
All right, Coach Miller, you are on the clock. Raina Harmon, your energy, your vibe, your courage, your tenacity. You are extraordinary, and you got next. Anything you need, we rocking with you. 10 toes down. I'm going to order me some buffs as soon as I get off this thing.
Right.
Coach Harmon, you the truth. Thank you for stopping by the show. SLT Nation. Oh my goodness. I told y'all this thing was going to be fire. The electricity, the hairs on my arm are still raised right now. And if you feel it like I feel it, this is the last altar call. Show us some love. Right now, we are trying to beat the algorithm, and we need your support. Major support. I know it's 5 to 6 million people out there in the world that want to be a part of this. This show was amazing, but we got a bunch of amazing guests that come on and tell us stories that of just positivity, of inspiration, of hope. Be a part of this, all right? Smash the subscribe button. Share this episode with somebody who needs to hear it. Like it. Leave us some comments. Tell us what you think about the top 5, the would you rather, the championship rounds. We want to hear it all because we believe in engaging with you is first and foremost. And don't forget, Kevin and I, we do go live 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. We go on Twitter and YouTube. Did I say that right, Kevin? Twitter and YouTube. Right. Yes. So all you got to do is smash the bell button. You'll be notified, and it's a crazy show. We talk about sneakers. I do a drop every week, Coach. I do a drop every week where I show people the new shoes. Kevin does a song of the week. It's crazy. It's a fun time. Come hang out with us Wednesday nights, 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Kevin, I don't know. What am I forgetting, man? What am I forgetting? I'm going to let you close this thing out, Kevin. You went got us one of the dopest guests.
Yes, but I failed the people by losing championship rounds. I failed them. But, Coach, like Michael Jackson said, we love rocking with you today. So whatever you need from us, like B. Jones said, we got your back.
Appreciate that.
All right, all my unified ballers, SLT Nation, we love y'all. Stay safe, be blessed, respect each other, and love one another because together we are better. And keep dreaming big because you never know. Your story may be the next one featured on Sports Life Talks. You got next. Yeet.
See, what's crazy is I knew you had next because you always working, you always grinding, you're in your bag because you're always working. Like in due time, I knew you got next. Oh, you did it, huh? Crack the code. You got next, you smashing goals. You want next, you need exposure. Well, Sports Like Talk got the baddest show, like the baddest in the room. Podcast to tune into just for you to talk your shit, talk your mushroom. You are what you eat and you should consume. Sports Like Talk from the late night to the afternoon, then rest repeat. Hit the like, leave a comment, or subscribe so you don't miss a beat. You got next, just a small taste of a winning meal from a chef type of celebrity. What's up next is you, at least you better be. Yeah, you got next, yeah. I can feel it, you're a winner just like me. You got next, and what comes next? Tune in next time and you'll see. Cause if you got next, yeah, if you got next, then you're just like me. If you got next, yeah, if you got next, then you know where to be. I'm talking sports life, talking this. Yeah. Sports life, talking this.